So within a month or two, we were swept up in working really hard for Rath Yatra. So that's when I first met Prabhupada. It was 1971 when he came for the San Francisco Rath Yatra. And the first time I saw Prabhupada, I wasn't initiated yet, but I knew the etiquette, which was if you see Prabhupada, you pay flat obeisances. So I'm thinking, okay, when I see Prabhupada, I'm going to do that. When he came down, walking down the steps, I guess it was on the tarmac, there wasn't at the airport, I didn't have to think, I got to bow down. It was like a wave, an ocean wave, slammed me down on the ground. So I'm down there, and then I'm staying, and then something comes by, it's like I smell this big whoosh of like gardenia smell, like it was like heavenly. So then I looked up, Prabhupada's walking right by. So that's the first time I saw Prabhupada was Rath Yatra in San Francisco in 1971. So right after the San Francisco Rath Yatra in 1971, it wasn't like now where you have hundreds of life members helping for right before the Rath Yatra, and a lot. And at that point, it was still a big Rath Yatra in Golden Gate Park, but we just had the San Francisco devotees and the Berkeley devotees, which there were only maybe 15 or 20 in Berkeley, and the LA devotees came up like the day before. But we're working really hard. I didn't get much sleep. All the devotees were like that, and right after Rath Yatra, we had to clean up everything. So when got back to the temple in Berkeley, it must have been like late at night, maybe like 10 or 11. So then the next morning, the temple president at that point was Yasodhananda, and he said, he came and wake us up and said, Prabhupada called, he's coming over here. It wasn't scheduled because he was staying in San Francisco. Prabhupada's coming like in an hour. So we get up, we take a quick shower. He's coming in like 6:30 or something like that. Ended up, it was about a half hour later, like right at the greeting of the deities. So we had like an hour to clean up the temple, which we had let slide because we were just worried about the San Francisco Rath Yatra. So we cleaned up the halls and the temple room really quick. We put everything outside where the garbage area is, and so it was presentable. We thought, he's coming to the temple room, and they said he's going to give class, and then he's going to go back. So Prabhupada came in, and the class was like really short, probably because he might have known the devotees were totally tired. So he got up after the class. We did the Guru Puja and then a class. Then the first thing he does is he wants to inspect the temple. He walks out to the garbage area immediately, and he tells the temple president, this should be clean. And we're thinking, we did everything, and the first place he goes is the only place where we just dumped everything. So at that point I was thinking, probably it must be some kind of mystic here. Prabhupada came to Chicago in '74 there was a Rath Yatra there, and then in '76. And in 1976, Uddhava Shloka was the temple president, and right after the Rath Yatra, we had, because Prabhupada was dealing with all sorts of devotees at that point, there was a big Radha Damodar party initiation, they had a lot of buses, so Uddhava Shloka got something at least for us, and then Prabhupada came to the room. So Uddhava Shloka introduced, Prabhupada said, Mrgendra, he's organizing the airport distribution. So Prabhupada says immediately, so what do you tell them? So I start out, well, we tell them that George Harrison helped print this book, and I stopped for a second. Immediately he nailed me, and he said, you should tell them something about the book. So I felt like kind of bad, but we were selling books on George Harrison's name, basically, a lot of things. So at that point, when I saw Prabhupada, it was like heavy energy. And it was like total, he was deep and very powerful. When Prabhupada was writing or he was speaking, I just took it like they say that, not that he's speaking, but Krishna is speaking directly through him. And so that's how I took him, not that he's this body or whatever. I just took him that he's the messenger of Krishna. And that's all he wanted. He didn't want to be served personally. He just wanted us to follow his instructions and try to please him. And he was trying to please his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And that was one of the main motivations, one of the things that kept us going. I remember in Atlanta, he was saying that his spiritual master would bless us more than even he would. So we took that as a, boy, this is extra. Now we're getting double here. This is like, we're not only got Prabhupada, now we got Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati behind us. So that's kept us going. Je anilo